Good evening and welcome. 64 of some of the best players in the world have converged on Newcastle under Lyme, and here we are for event 4, which is the Central Vehicle Leasing Challenge. I'm joined by Lee Kendall. Good evening, Lee.
Good evening.
So, without further ado, let's run through some of the games tonight. There's some really interesting lineup yet again. The draw seems to throw up a few good ones. The first game in the draw is Mark Boyle against Leiden de Bono. That's going to be a challenge for both.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody from the UK will know a lot about Mark, but there's certainly learning about Leiden at the moment. You know, he's had a couple of good events, and you know, he's a solid player from Malta.
4 games streamed this evening, and across on table 4 is going to be Scott Gillespie against Greg Batten. Another really tough game.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really, really strong field. So every match is, you know, a banana skin for the top players.
Almost a little bit of a couple of games of death there, possibly, because the winner of that will go on to play the winner of Phil Harrison against Drew Hughes. So that's a nasty little section to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not nice, but that's what they, you know, they are all top players, and they can all do it on the day. Yeah,
that's another stream game on table 11. 2 England players, you'll know these players well. Shane Thompson against Rob Warren.
Yeah, Rob's no longer playing for us anymore. He spent probably 6 years in the team. Strong player. He won the Supreme Masters when he was an amateur event. So you know, he's a quality player. And Shane, you know, everybody knows him for his money matches more than his tournament successes. So tough match. I think Jed's got that one marked up at 5 to 6. Take your pick.
Yeah. Chris Melling joins us again with one of the England players, Ben Flack.
Yeah, contrast the styles. That one, Ben is very methodical, where Chris will just get down and look so natural. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out, because they're both strong and different attributes.
And another contrast of styles, talking about which, Callum Singleton against Sean Chipperfield.
Yeah, tough match. You know, I mean, all these matches are quality matches, and I'm sure everybody will want to try and watch them, and they probably want more than 4 stream tables, but you know, all capable players.
Yeah. Coming up on the TV table, a bit of a blockbuster between 2 players that people will be familiar with, Craig Marsh and John McAllister.
Again, an even match, both having good seasons, both strong players, both will need the ranking points ready for the grand final. So
and nothing between them again with the bookie, 5 to 6 each way.
Yeah, you know, open draws for the first 4 events, seeded for the grand final. So throws up these matches.
Putting you on the spot, you've looked through the field. Who's your pick for the weekend?
I haven't really got one, to be honest. I'll go back with Scott. You know, Scott Gillespie's due to get back on the winning track.
Yeah.
He's won a couple of events, and there's no reason why he can't win some more.
I'm going to go for a new winner. I'm going to go for Neil Raybone, a man who's on great form at the moment. Yeah. Great value with the bookies as well, by the way. You can get him at 20 to 1 with the bookies. He's got a tough draw, but they're all tough draws, and I think Neil could do the business this weekend. Just touching on the TV games as well, the next game coming up at 9 p.m. is going to be the small affair between Tom Cousins and Clint Hansen. That's another massive game, and that's to play, possibly to play Liam Dunster. Well, it will be to play Liam, because Liam's got a bye, so another really tough section there.
Tough section, and I have to feel sorry for Clint. He's played in the series now for 2 years, and he's had a tough draw at the start.
Every time.
Probably 2 or 3 rounds. Tough draws, and he's come through some, but you know, it's hard to keep getting through their matches.
So without further ado, we're going to throw across the main arena. It's table 16. We're with you. I'm going to guide you through the action. It's Craig Marsh against John McAllister. Enjoy.
Is it? Yeah, good to go.
So we painted the picture for you, and here we are with the action. Another great game to get the event underway. Two very familiar figures who will be intimate with each other's games. It's Craig Marsh and John McAllister. Two players who have been in this series from the start. Also, two players who play on the IPA Tour, also play in that IPA Premier League. And this could very well be a game about the breaks. Both these players have big breaks renowned for them. John McAllister coming up dry in his opener, and there is the familiar figure of Craig Marsh. A man you have to say, if you'd watched any of his recent matches in that Premier League, probably not at the very top of his game at the moment, or hasn't been over the last couple of months. And they're epitomised by a shot that you would expect him to get, well, 10 out of 10, wouldn't you? I mean, that was should have been a gimme ball. And an early chance now for John, and Craig will have to fire from the outset in this match. John will not be giving him too many second chances. Understandable that maybe a tiny bit of nerves just playing a part early doors. These players will be familiar, very familiar with the cameras and the big arena. But it's always difficult when you get down on the table for that first frame and going for that skill shot, that combination shot, and he makes it. Pressure on that early doors. That would have been end of frame had he missed it. But now the frame really should be at his mercy. All of the balls go. The two yellows to the right-hand side that are close to each other. Neither of those go to bottom right, so he just needs a plan. He's going to take one now to bottom left and stun across for the other one into the same pocket. Controlled it really well. Fairly simple shot, but as I mentioned, it's first frame, and you've always got to get that arm going. In these races to 11, you have to hit the ground running, or you could find yourself 2-3 frames behind before you even blink, before you get back to the table. Craig not being able to take advantage of that dry break from John. Already we have 16 tables in action, or just under. I think there was a couple of buys in the draw. Early frames already under the belt. Mark Ball's 1-0 up against Leiden de Bono. Alex Bailey's 1-0 up against Jez Graham. Craig Waddingham 2-0 against Chris Day. Adam Basu is 2-0 against Jack Whelan. Off to a flyer. Steve Petty 2-1 against Scott Crawley. Omar Manchid 1-0 against Mason Penny. Sean Story 2-0 against Liam White. Greg Batten's taken the first frame against Scott Gillespie. He leads 1 frame to 0. Phil Harrison 2-0 against Drew Hughes. Declan Brennan 2-0 against Dom Cooney. Chris Gill 2-0 against Luke Gilbert. And Shane Thompson off to a flyer against Rob Warren. He is 2-0 up. We'll keep you in touch with all of those games. There's no need to go anywhere. Just stay with us on this main arena table and watch this blockbuster between John McAllister and Craig Marsh. again, the control is just not quite there from Craig. Played to run off the top cushion, and the side just arced the ball slightly, pushing it towards that red, and he's just clipped it, and now he's left himself this little thin cut, much more difficult than it needed to be. He almost came off. Almost came off. That was a great effort to try and get that difficult red out. And now, well, he's left himself in no man's land. I'm not even sure he's got a double here. The red on the left may just double to top right, but I think the red in bulk's in the way. Wow, what a double back into the middle. I say he didn't have a double, but yeah, what a shot that was. What a recovery. Use another double here. No, top knuckle. That's no good. And again, if he keeps making these mistakes, this game could very, very quickly get away from him. John just looking to see if that yellow passes into the top right bag. If it does, I think this could be frame over. So I'm joined on commentary now by Adam Penwell. Good evening, Adam.
Good evening, Mr. Finn. Here we are again.
Yeah, here we are, yeah. Did you have a good journey up?
Yeah, mine was, yours was 6.5 hours and mine was 2.5 hours.
Was it 2.5?
2.5 hours, yeah.
You lucky beggar.
I just left a bit earlier, didn't I?
Yeah. 6.5 hours.
It's a long journey, mate. It doesn't seem that long since we were here for the previous event, but
No.
obviously here we go, and Craig Marsh, John McAllister is your first treat of the evening.
So clearly this yellow doesn't pass the red to go into the top right, so he's going to have a plan for that. He could just try and leave an angle on the 1-2 top left and screw across. The trouble is with the two reds above it, it's not a gimme, is it? No, I think that's what he's tried to do here. So he's left himself an angle on the one to top left, and he's going to play this with right hand side, just to touch a screw, just to straighten that up. It's one of those you don't want to screw too much because you'll just straighten that up too much.
He's got to be a bit careful. So he's looking at playing it with bottom right to come off the top cushion and head over, and he's lined it up as if he wants to hit the red into the yellow.
But
so
it's one of those you need loads of side and not too much screw action.
So that's not the red he intended to hit.
No.
He played to hit the other red into the yellow, but
he's left himself a shot. It's a tough shot, but he's given himself a sniff. The cue ball could have been nicer. So he's got the one just below the bulk line to the left corner. Doesn't need to do too much with the cue ball.
that doesn't go to the left corner, surely.
To the left middle.
I was going to say left.
Did I say left corner?
You said left corner. I was thinking that didn't go left corner.
To the left middle, I meant.
That's what happens when you have a 6.5 hour journey.
It's still early.
Lack of preparation.
It's still early. As I say, he doesn't have to do too much to the cue ball because the cue ball was always just going to track around. And ideally, he would have liked to have just finished in that gap between just above the black and play that the yellow to centre, the yellow just below the red. But he's going to have to go up table now. And suddenly it becomes a little bit trickier. There's a lot of importance on the position of this shot. And there's
looks like he's going to come back, I think.
Yeah, small margin of error. He's topped it through.
Yeah, he looks pretty perfect there.
Yeah.
Barring a disaster, that That should be 2-0 Johnny Mac. So as you see from the angle he's got there, he's just going to literally roll this yellow in. Probably dead weight or a little stun run through, whatever he prefers. Tap the yellow to the left middle. So yeah, just a stun. A little bit careless. He didn't really want to be queuing over the black like he is. Could have done with running through. Probably another inch or 2 inches. Still shouldn't cause him a problem, but just depends where he's going to go. He needs to just put a little bit of bottom so that he can take the black to the right middle. There you go. Perfect. And that'll be 2-0 Johnny Mac. And there we go. That's 2-0 Johnny Mac. Whose break is it now, Nick?
Johnny McAllister's break.
Johnny Mac's break, is it?
Yeah.
How many games are on stream this session?
4.
It's 4 games, is there?
Yeah. Tables 3, 4, 11 and 16 are all the stream games.
And are we on Facebook and YouTube?
Yeah, we're definitely on YouTube. I'm pretty sure we're on Facebook on the Players Pool Events page. If not, there's certainly a link there to the YouTube.
Yeah, I can see it on Facebook, Players Pool Events.
So McAllister breaks off in frame number 3. He leads 2-0, and that could very, very quickly be 3-0 because these reds are as good as gone. Not a bad ball there.
So for those who were asking, this is the Supreme Series. This is event number 4 of 5, being played at Players Pool Lounge, Newcastle under Lyme, Stoke-on-Trent. If you want to keep yourselves up to date with the scores, then get yourself onto Q-Score, search for Players Pool Events, and that'll have all the up-to-date scores on there as well. Tonight there is this session, which is the 7 PM. There's also the session at 9 PM as well. If you've got any questions, then fire them into the comments box, and I'm sure Nick Finn, with his vast knowledge, will answer the questions for you. If you want a personal response, then as per previous events, add Nick Finn as a friend on Facebook, and he'll deal with your personal requests.
Don't start your nonsense.
There you go, Michael Craven's watching on Facebook. Good evening to you, Michael Craven. Hope you enjoy the weekend of pool we got ahead for you. I'm not playing until tomorrow myself. I've just won my first match, 11-0. Nothing to do with having a bye. But yeah, not until 12:30 tomorrow, so it means I can have a bit of fun with Nick Finn in the commentary box tonight. As long as he doesn't let off the smelly ones he was letting off last time, then I'm sure I'll survive. But you are looking very good in your new jacket, Nick. Very impressed, mate. That looks good. I prefer that to the old one. that old sort of browny, musty one, it's not really my cup of tea. But mate, this one looks alright. This looks very modern.
I'm glad you approve.
Very modern, mate. You do look the business. Whereas I've come fresh from the drive up, so I know I'm looking like a bit of a homeless mate. I do. I know I haven't quite got up to your standards tonight. I do apologise. I was going to bring the brown shoes especially for you, but I thought I'd save them for tomorrow. Mr. Coops, good evening, mate. Hope you're well.
Surely that... Wow, the red has to pass, otherwise he wouldn't have left it there. But when you look at that other angle, you wouldn't think for 1 second that red would pass into the bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, it flies in it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just...
From the other angle,
it just shows you on the foreshortened TV angle, when you're only looking in, that different dimension. Obviously, we're looking at exactly the same view that the viewers are at home.
Well, luckily we've got Paul moulding on the buttons. 17 camera angles. He will give us every single angle that we need. We might have to ask him 3 times, but there we go. Look at that. Paul is on fire.
This is 3-0. As I mentioned,
3-0 Johnny Mac.
Didn't think that was going to take too long to get through those.
No, match betting in venue for this match was both players were 5-6, 5-6.
They were, yeah. Mark Boyle is trailing Leiden de Bono 2-1. James Graham and Alex Bailey 1 each. Craig Waddingham's now 4-0 against Chris Day.
There you go, look on the screen, look. On the screen, look at that.
Jack Whelan, Adam Bethou 3 each. Steve Petty flying.
Yeah, I had a practice with Steve Petty earlier, he was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Mason Penny 2-1 up against Manchid Omar. Sean Story against Liam White 3-1. Scott Gillespie, having been 1-0 down, is now 3-1 up. Phil Harrison just flying through the frames against Drew Hughes, 4-1 in the lead. And the other games there, Declan Brennan 3-0 against Dom Cooney.
And I just clocked at the bottom, the face of 8-ball pool, Shane Thompson, is leading Rob Bourne 3-1. I knew Shane was there because when he walked in the venue, the first thing he said was, "Hey, you guys."
This is not happening for Craig.
So was that balling off the break, wasn't it? So obviously on these rules, any foul in Supreme rules is 1 visit only. There's no 2 visits. There's no free visit. It is just 1 visit only. If it's in off the break, then it's 1 visit only from behind the bulk line. Any other foul in the game, then it's 1 visit, but you have ball in hand and you can place it anywhere on the table of your choice. But like I said, it's just 1 visit, no free shot.
But again,
these players don't need a free shot. They're too good, aren't they, Nick?
yeah, I mean, these yellows. Don't know.
What's he playing here?
I don't know. I don't know if he's forgotten the rules he's playing or
sure what he's doing
what he's
here.
actually doing it.
Okay. It looked like he was queuing at the red, didn't it? That's what it looked like.
I get that he probably wants to. He probably wants to clear this end of the table first, because this yellow, kind of adjacent to the black, it only really goes to kind of top left and right middle. That's about the only couple of pockets it goes to. So he's wanting to come down the table first. I think most players would have probably put the cue ball near the top cushion and taken the one along the top rail first.
Yeah,
I think.
but personal preference. But obviously, I'm a clueless cabbage. But I'd have taken out the 4 at the top.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then come down for these 2, because with the yellow near the pocket he's got now, there's enough options there to get on that yellow to the right middle or to the top left, leaving yourself a tapping on the black. But obviously, John's decided he's going to go this way instead.
As I say, I understand why, because this yellow was difficult in that it only goes to a couple of pockets, so you can see why he's tried. I mean, these players are always looking for their problem area first, and this really was the problem area. The the four at the top aren't a problem, are they? I mean, now he's found position on this ball.
Yeah, I agree, but the way to look at that is imagine if this yellow that he's about to play now, imagine that was his last ball now.
Yeah, I know, but
He's got to tap it on the black to the middle.
But getting on it
Mate.
was not guaranteed.
Players of this standard, that ball's not an issue.
I get it.
So
I get it. But
he's not on the ball he's played on. He's played to land there on the right of those two yellows near the top right pocket.
I think he's still on it.
I don't think he is on that one. He might have to put a bit of bend on it. I don't think it's a straight pot to the right. I'm not sure. We need camera angle 16.2 for that one.
Yeah, he's fine. He's absolutely fine.
Told you, look, just a little bit of bend he put on that. Did you not see how much swerve he put? He's just massaged that to make that ball. That's a great shot. That's a huge massage to make that.
No, I absolutely, I really like his pattern, by the way. I wouldn't have gone that way, but I really like the pattern. He's picked out the most difficult ball on the table and said, I'm going to take that one. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it early because the ones at the top of the table are an absolute gimme. Or he felt that they're absolute.
Yeah. I can't. Like I said, I
like it. I like it.
There's two ways of looking. I think a lot of players would have gone the other way, but at the end of the day, you can see why he's gone the way he's gone. He's going to take these out.
I wouldn't have even thought about going this way, but
he's going to be.
Now he's done it. I really like it.
He's going to be 4-0 up.
And that just epitomises what I've said many times before on commentary, that the top players are looking for the problem area, and they're getting that problem area at the very, very start of the game, or very start of the frame, at the earliest point they can. And he'd worked his plan out. I couldn't work out for the life of me why he was taking the one in the middle and coming down table, but it absolutely makes perfect sense.
As long as he taps this in, then yeah. Boom. In it goes, 4-0.
He's not missing that the way he's queuing at the moment.
He is
he's on fire.
He is on fire. Nothing going Marshy's way.
I'll be honest, I thought that he was a huge price at 5-6 because Craig has not been on the best of form that I've seen in that Premier League recently. I just thought he was a huge price.
Yeah, can't disagree with you there. And maybe Marshy's been cursed by the tower that he's using.
Shane Thompson now 4-1 up.
Because Marshy come to me before his match and said, Penners, you couldn't lend me your towel, could you? I've forgotten mine. And I'll get one at the hotel for you later. So if he's going to blame it on my towel, it's not my fault.
Craig Waddingham is 5-0 up.
Johnny Mac's fault for being too good.
Steve Petty 6-1. He's in a hurry to get back to his hotel room.
Someone's asking when Cousins is playing. I think Cousins is on the 9 p.m. session.
Cousins is on the main arena table at 9 p.m.
There you go.
Against Clint Ianson.
When you want a question answered, you ask head commentator Lord Nick Finn. He's the man.
Not only is that a big game in itself, the winner then goes on and plays Liam Dunster. So that really is just a horrible little section of four there. Tom and Liam have sparred a couple of times in this series before.
And I've just been informed by a good source that Nick's new nickname is the Gardener. And the reason his nickname is the Gardener, if you've seen the Backers Sanctuary page on Facebook, Nick Finn deals with all the weeds. So I'm being told he is the Gardener. So if you don't want to be on Nick Finn's list,
I just think it.
Pay your bets.
Pay
your bets. If you have a bet, pay your bet. It is that simple.
It's definitely not my list, but it was. Yeah, I mean, it was something that was long overdue. It's the list for the pool community, and it's just I mean, the amount of times we see somebody that's been blocked because they'd agreed a £50 bet or a £20 bet in a chat box somewhere, and somebody hasn't paid,
and done a runner.
It's on a weekly basis, and I was just getting fed up watching it. So I created a Facebook page which consists of a list, and it's essentially it serves two purposes. It gives a list for people to look at to make sure that they avoid those people, and also it's just a safe place for people to have a small bet. I mean,
Small friendly punt.
even now there's people on there asking, would you like a friendly £20 or £50 on this game? It just allows people to have there's an uncharacteristic mistake. To have a safe bet with people that are trusted.
Yeah, exactly.
The people that are on the page are there because they've been invited by somebody who trusts them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's building a community from within, really. So.
No, that's a good page, mate. So, unforced error from John McAllister.
Yeah, didn't expect that one at all. Well, that's just...
Oh, he's miscued that. See
horrible.
that?
Yeah, it's horrible.
He's totally miscued that. He's having a bit of a...
It's just going
he's having a bit of a mare here. So obviously now he's on yellows. And
he meant to hit that a lot harder just to try and break it all open.
He's in a bit of trouble here.
You could see him giving a wry look to that tip.
Well, the thing is, with these rules, there is no benefit to covering this pocket.
No.
He's pretty much going to have to go for the pot.
Yeah.
He's given it a lash. He's gone for it. He's missed it. And
yeah.
Not sure how much damage has been done. Obviously, the black's now up the right corner near the reds. Obviously, that's an issue.
Yeah, well, I mean, John's got a distinct advantage in the frame now, given the way the balls are set, but it's not that much of an advantage in these rules because it's a very, very awkward layout.
It just depends what John decides to do here. I mean, obviously, his red up sort of just to the left of the brown spot behind the bulk line. He could play that into the yellow on the top left to take the pocket. He could play it as a skill shot. If it pots, it goes. If it doesn't, then he's still going to have prime position. Craig is...
I think he's played that to play a bit harder, hasn't he? I mean, he's trying to get up to
so.
the left-hand side of the table so he can pot this...
So, like I said, he's going to play this onto the yellow. He might play this as a skill shot. If it goes, it does. If it doesn't, then he'll cover the pocket.
Yeah, just like so.
So, chose to take the pocket.
And
he's potted the white, though.
He's gone in off, so that is disaster.
Well, it's not really disaster, because in these rules, he's only got one visit.
Yeah. Now, what I meant was, I was just about to say, had the white not gone in off, then Craig would have had to have played from where the cue ball landed. But now it just gives him an opportunity to get cue ball in hand and maybe mix it up a little bit.
The only chance he's got here, he has to go off the red. Yeah, has to go off the red. Oh, it's been a bit unlucky.
Yeah, it's been unlucky, yeah.
He's freed the black, but obviously in doing that, he's tied up his other yellow.
He's got another attacking option if he wishes to, and I'm sure he will. He'll play this yellow down rail, topping the cue ball through to try and leave himself an angle. It's either that or he's got some kind of forlorn double, but even that's not great because it would have to be double-double. He's got to double the first one and get the other yellow out, and then he's got to double the one on the left-hand side red as well. He's played a kind of dead weight double.
I think he's gone for the double, but
yeah,
it'd have been a miracle if he'd landed on that next ball playing that dead weight. He
really
had to hit that a lot harder and hope for a little bit of luck, which obviously he's not getting at the moment. He's left it in a fairly safe position.
I think the red goes. I think John's just looking now as to whether it does go. It's one of those that if you play it with a lot of side, you can kind of throw it in.
Yeah, it's quite a way off the cushion.
Yeah,
he's almost going to play as if he's going to miss it.
Yeah,
that's how thin it needs to be.
Yeah, not thin enough, and you could see the side he played it with the cue ball.
So Craig's not dead. He's not dead and buried yet. He's not dead and buried in this frame. He's still got options there. He can take. I'm assuming he can't see the yellow that's near the middle that he stood by now. I don't think he can. Well, I'm not sure.
Maybe able to. He might be able to think it round, but
ultimately, he's going to have a skill shot on the yellow near the black to the red.
I think, yeah.
Because there's no purpose, there's no benefit to leaving it.
Little plant, and I think he's tried to play the skilly there, isn't he?
He's tried to play it there and knock out, which is it's a clever shot he's played there.
Yeah.
Still needs a good one here though, because
Yeah, I mean the cue ball's running away, and he's going to play this one long. You can understand why he's playing that long.
That's missed.
No,
Oh
it
my
hasn't.
God, I thought that missed. And that's the difference when you obviously, brand new cloth on all of these tables,
Yeah.
and you can see it's just caught the rail first,
They
but
just slide in.
it's going to slide in with brand new cloth.
People seem to think that there's
It did look a bit wide.
there's a different template for Supreme tables for arena tables, but they're absolutely not. They're just brand new cloths and a lot more light over this table, so the table's always a lot warmer, and they definitely slide.
He's done his best to hold that as well as he can.
Yeah. It's going to have to do it again here.
You might just be flick the red or go in the middle, I think. There you go. It's always going to flick the red. He was hoping.
Does the black go in above the red to top left? I think
Nope.
it does.
He's not playing that to the top left. It's two choices. It's either you play the cut to the left middle or you take the double on. Cut to the middle would be my preference. Oh, slam, why did he hit it so hard?
I don't know.
I don't know why he hit it so hard.
He was worried about the in-off, I think. He's
Didn't need to hit it that hard.
He's punched the cue ball to the top rail because that is quite a big pocket where that red is.
Well, it is, but if he'd have played it plain ball, worst case scenario, he might have just flicked the red in, which in these rules is acceptable as long as the black goes.
If you flick the inside and the white goes in off, then
I don't know, mate. I don't think the in-off was on there. I think he's trying to get himself going, and it's just not happening for him at the moment. And two choices. Johnny Mack either decides he's going to take these out, or he pots the one that's near the pocket, pushes the other one towards the pocket.
Absolutely going for the clearance here.
Oh yeah, of course he is. But some players, there you go, push it towards the pocket.
I don't like that shot. I mean,
I like that shot.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's come out lovely, but I'm just not a massive fan of it. He can pot that ball along the rail. He's more than good enough to pot the ball along the rail.
That was definitely the shot to play. With the angle he had, he pretty much couldn't go wrong from there.
Well,
he'd have had to hit the worst shot in the world to not push it along the cushion. I know what you're saying.
I guess you're right, but I'd back John McAllister to pot that ball along the rail 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
I don't like moving balls unless you absolutely have to. And that can go wrong.
That's not the best shot he's ever played.
That red went a second ago, and now it only goes to the top right. No, I'm absolutely not a fan of moving balls unless you have to.
That just shows you the youth of today, doesn't it? Young Kean's been in a couple of shootouts, and suddenly he's a pool expert.
He knows his stuff.
I'll tell you now, if that was Kean playing that shot, Kean would have gone into that ball. I've seen Kean play. Kean goes into every single ball he sees because he's a machine.
One of the players of the future.
Oh, he's a great player, Kean. I love watching Kean play.
This is tough, man. Yeah, it was never. I mean, he's absolutely fine, but it wasn't easy to get good on it.
No.
If you see what I mean, he's absolutely fine.
Thanks for your message of apology, Kean. But you got to try better than that to wind me up, pal. Cheers, mate. Bless him. Shame he's not here, actually. And that's another frame. Another frame in the bag for Johnny Mack. 5-0. Race to 11.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing's going Craig's way, is it? Miscue.
Don't get me wrong. There's a man in Craig Marsh who can definitely reel off 5 frames back to back, but you feel that the way he's playing, the mistakes he's making, and the way John McAllister's playing, this game's already gone. I mean, it's difficult to ever write off Craig Marsh because he is brilliant, but he is just not at the races at the moment.
No, he's not on it, mate. He's not on it.
So, players who incidentally come back to back in the alphabetical list of players that have played in this series. Marsh and McAllister, back to back.
Back to back, mate.
Well, John McAllister, 24 years old. Still a spring chicken, isn't he? I mean, what a player at 24 years old. And he seems to have been around for a long time as well, doesn't he? It's amazing.
I didn't realise he was that young, to be honest.
No.
I'm not saying he looks old, but like you said, he's been around forever.
Yeah. He uses a Jason Owen cue with a 9mm Kamui tip. By the way, these are last year's information, so things could have changed. He may be using a different tip now, but this is extant at the time. He's won a number of events on the IPA Tour. Scottish Open champion, European professional champion twice, amateur champion back in 2013. I mean, World Under-16 blackball champion in 2010. There you go. That shows you his. And
that's 9 years ago, mind. 9 years ago.
I know. Yeah.
Crazy.
And there you go. He started playing pool at 6 years of age. Used to play with his dad, and then he went to the pub with his old man and just continued. And the guys there saw that he was a fairly natural player, and they kind of brought him on. And here he is today, competing at the very top of the game. And his biggest aspiration and inspiration has been his mum and dad, who wanted to continue with him to continue with his passion. And he just became a better player. He's the people he tries to emulate in the game. Mark Williams, because he loves the way he just casually floats around the table without a care in the world. And the other one is John Higgins, saying he was the best all-round player at the time when he was growing up. His aspiration is to become world champion and just to continue to play to the very best of his ability. And he is the youngest person to win the National Under-18 Blackball Championship when he was just 13 years old. So
that's crazy. 13 years old.
That's an amazing achievement, isn't
wow.
it? I mean, beating 17-year-olds when you're 13.
Wow. The only thing I won at 13 was the Subutio Championships around my house. That was it, mate. 13 years old, wow. Machine. John the Machine McAllister. Yeah. And
so somebody did ask what cue he uses, and there you go, Jason Owen. And Craig Marsh is Marsh. He's 34 years old, 10 years older.
That'll drop. There you go. Good shot down the rail. And as we mentioned, obviously new cloths on the table.
Yeah.
Might not have looked like it was going to drop in, but from experience, that ball was always going to drop in. Always going to drop. So just got to take care of these. Take care of these last 3 yellows and the black, and he's going to be looking at a 6-0 lead, and I reckon you might get some good odds on Craig coming back and winning this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be putting too much money on it, not at the moment.
So I'd expect him to, depending on which way he goes there. And
so the
shark rack removed, or will he leave it there?
Scott Daniels made his cue, and he uses a blue diamond tip. He was, of course, the 2017 IPA World Champion, and he's a multiple tour and event winner. I mean, Marsh needs little introduction. He is just a formidable player on the scene. By his own admission, not on the greatest vein of form of his life, but we all know that Craig is the kind of player who will definitely be coming back. And who knows, don't write him off in this event just because he loses. This, of course, is double elimination. He started playing pool when he was 10 years old in the pub with his dad, when he used to play for the local football team on the weekends, and he just got hooked to playing the game.
That's where he found his love of pork scratchings.
Yeah. He said too many inspirations to name, but from his age of 20 onwards, the person who's been the most help to him has been Paul Bushnell, who's backed him into everything and just pushes him all the time to keep him going. We'll just step away from that for a second to look at those scores. Mark Boyle 4-3 up against Leiden de Bono.
I got a question for you as well, Nick, when you want it, mate.
Yeah, Craig Waddingham now 7-2 flying. Jack Whelan flying against Adam Basu 7-3. Steve Petty 8-2. Manchid Omar in business against Mason Penny 4-3 up.
He was 2-1 down.
Yeah, Scott Gillespie 4-2 against Greg Batten. Phil Harrison 6-2 against Drew Hughes. Declan Brennan opening his account. He's currently 4-2 against Dom Cooney. Chris Gill against Luke Gilbert. Chris Gill is 7-3 up. And that game right at the bottom, Shane Thompson is currently 6-3 up against Rob Warren. And Shane Thompson, for me, one of the most improved players in the country over the last couple of years.
Yeah, can't argue with that, mate. Won a lot of tour events, won a lot of things. So, Tom Keir would like to know, who are you guys picking to win the tournament? Who do you reckon, Nick?
We asked the same question during the interviews before we kicked off between me and Kenny. Kenny said he fancies Scott Gillespie. I don't think Scott's shown the kind of form over the last 6 months
that he was in before.
Yeah, and
fair comment.
I personally, I'm not saying he's not good enough, because he definitely is, but I don't think he's in the right form at the moment to be able to win this event. For me, the form player at the moment is Neil Raybone, and that's my pick for the event. And
he stole my thunder.
He has a tough draw. He has a really tough draw. Now, he's got a bye in the first one against Tony Halpin, but he then plays the winner of Sean Story and Liam White, and that's a hard game in itself. But then, in winners' qualification, he will come up against either Scott Gillespie, Greg Batten, Drew Hughes, or Phil Harrison, which at the moment looks like to be either Phil or Scott. And that's pretty... I mean, any time you've got to come up against Phil Harrison, it's pretty disgusting.
Yeah,
but I just fancy Neil to come through this field. And at 20 to 1 with the bookies, I think that's a big price.
You know what, the strange, excuse me, the strange thing is, I was asked the same question before I came on commentary out in the arena, and literally, it's a shame that we've both sort of going to say the same player. But I said outside in the arena, I fancied Raybone 20 to 1, a big price.
Yeah.
I have had a little cheeky bet on him outright.
Yeah, I have as well.
20 to 1, I think, is a huge price.
Yeah,
great skill shot there, played by John McAllister.
Combination shot, please.
Combination shot. Yeah, I know it's a combination, but everyone still calls it a skill shot.
Everyone calls it a skill shot. There's no such thing as a skill shot.
Well, that was quite a skillful shot.
It was,
but I do agree with you. If everyone just called it a combination shot, then it would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? But yeah, no, I think Raybone, he's in good form. You know, he's playing really well at the moment. He's solid. One of those who doesn't drink. He's not one of those. He won't be out partying in the evening till 6 a.m. like Nick Finn will, when I'm in bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, I was actually the last event. I was out. We went to the casino with Jed and Sheppy and a couple others, and left there at about 6:15, I think.
I wouldn't know, mate. I'm always in bed by 10 p.m. So
yeah, of course you are.
I don't fulfil those antics.
And don't forget, Neil is playing pretty much in his home club. Lives just down the road.
Literally 5 minutes around the corner from this place.
He knows the club. He knows the tables like the back of his hand. So I fancy him.
Mate, I do fancy him. If you had to pick, if I was asked, okay, choose somebody else, it's hard to look past Harrison, Brennan.
I'm going to put this out there.
Is Tom Cousins due one?
Well,
is he due one?
Tom's got a.
You know.
Well, I don't think that there's too many bad draws for Tom. When you're a player of his stature, nobody wants Tom.
Nobody wants to play
But
Cousins.
he's got a pretty hideous draw as well. Like Clint Hansen is his opening game, and then he's got Liam Dunster if he wins that one. So that's pretty horrible in itself. But what I was going to say, I'm going to put this one out there for you. I reckon he's going to go deep this weekend, and I'll get accused because he's a friend of mine.
Deep.
But Sheppy's going to go deep this weekend. He's off a massive high from last weekend from winning the Tarm shootout again for the fourth occasion.
Missed it. Missed it. Yeah, he's won 4 out of 5 now.
And
But that's why it kind of makes me think: is he on a massive high because he's used to winning it now? It's
Yeah.
just standard procedure. The
No,
time
no,
shootout comes up and Sheppy goes and wins it.
I spoke to him in the week, and he enjoyed that one more than anything. It was the anniversary of his Granfy's passing, and that meant a lot to him. He was in tears when he picked up the trophy.
Yeah, no, I've seen that, mate.
He was on a massive high after winning that, and I just think he's going to turn up this weekend focused and ready to go.
Mate, I think Shane was a big price as well.
Shane is,
got to the semis of the last event.
Shane is a massive price.
All of a sudden, he started really started to turn it on. Shane was.
This is unbelievable from Marshy, by the way.
He's having a mare. What odds was Shane? 28.
He was 28.
He was 28.
Another bookie was offering
40 to 1. Yeah, somebody else was offering 40 to 1 on Thompson.
1 is a ridiculous price.
It's
now,
huge.
I'll tell you why, because that bookmaker is an Irish fella, and Shane has Declan Brennan in his path. He will meet Declan, possibly, if they both go through, then he'll meet Declan Brennan in winners qualification, and that's probably why that price has been edged to the right a little bit.
Still a big price.
It's
huge
it's
price.
A massive price. No, that's no good. Now, I mean, Marshy just has to get hold of this. He has to put all these misses behind him. It's the old 3-step rule, isn't it?
These have got to go. These have got to go.
The golfers have said the old 3-step rule, when you just have to put it out of your mind. But he's going to find that really difficult, because he's made so many simple errors now, right from that first frame when he missed that easy ball. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's not a chance in China he's not going to get this clearance, but he's still 6-1 down.
Left-handed Marshy.
Look at that.
There you go, look.
Pretty much pinpoint. Just
Left hand, right hand.
Yeah. Just going to come around 2 rails.
There you
Back
go.
out to the blue spot.
He's going to be on the board.
And I hope for Marshy's sake that he keeps his head clear, because he is still good enough. You see the smile on Johnny Mac's face, and that was because Marshy's looked up at him and just made a quip of some description. Oh, look, I can pot a ball or something along those lines. It would have been.
He's probably smiling because obviously Marshy's made another mistake,
Yeah.
and Johnny Mac's probably expecting himself to make that double, isn't he? That double he's missed. He's probably expecting to make that and go 7-0.
Look at Phil Harrison. 10 frames they've played.
8-2 up already.
Craig Wadham, same scoreline, 8-2. Amazing.
Rob Warren's got one back. He now trails 6-4 to Thompson.
It does indeed.
Chris Gill 9-3 up on Luke Gilbert. I'm not quite sure who that is, to be honest, but I was told he was a really good stick, Gilbert.
Yeah, I must admit,
don't personally know him, but I was told this lad's a really good stick.
Yeah, I was talking to Shane beforehand, and he said that he's a decent player. They were 5 to 6 either side. Somebody else said to me that
I know a lot of people outside were backing Gilbert.
Yeah.
On the match betting.
Yeah.
So a big break from Marshy. Pockets 2 reds. Obviously the next ball that he pots is the colour that he will be. I don't think he's going to mind these too much. Just depends which way he wants to go. It's reds all day long. Happy days. These are, I'm going to put it out there, these are gone.
Oh yeah.
These
for
are
sure.
gone.
For sure.
I don't want to curse him because it's not quite going his way, but
This is the kind of Craig Marsh
these are gone.
that could make a mistake here, but he's never going to. But I've seen him from this position when it's just going horrible for him. It just goes horrible.
Perfect.
It is perfect.
Perfect. Top that through.
Yep.
Other red to the bottom left, black in the middle.
Just needs to run
6-2.
Run it through 6 or 7 inches. He can finish high or low. He'll probably decide to finish slightly low. Actually, he's finished slightly high, but either would have been fine.
There we
Makes
go,
no
mate.
difference.
A name we didn't mention. Sean Harris thinks that Wads is going to win this one. Craig Waddenham, he's saying.
Well,
Certainly got the ability.
yeah, of course.
No
yeah.
question there.
Yeah.
I think I think your brother Michael Feenan has had a few too many drinks. He's backed me at 4-6 for the tournament.
Yeah.
I think he means 4-6 to win one frame. I think he's forgotten the second part of the information.
I think he missed that 0. You're 406 to 1.
465,000 to 1, more like. Mr. Feenan, you little legend, you. Hope you're well, mate. I am looking after your partner, Mr. Finn. The gardener takes care of all the weeds.
So there, of course, is the title sponsor for this event. It's the Central Vehicle Leasing Challenge. Can't read my own handwriting there, even though it's right on the screen in front of me. But Central Vehicle Leasing.
Yeah, just to make sure everyone's got that, it's Central Vehicle Leasing. All right, Nick? They are the title sponsor for this event. Good break.
Got some good deals there as well, haven't they?
Black's going. Right, here we go.
Yeah.
So black's been
Now
potted.
this is the best rule.
The best rule ever. This is
about
Supreme Rules.
Supreme Rules.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Why in any rules, because the black goes down, would you re-rank the balls?
Do you know what? The point here is that the black being respotted, like you said, is the best rule, because how many times have you played a game of pool, right, where you pop the black off the break, you've had a brilliant break, the balls are everywhere.
Well, it's here.
You re-rack them.
It's right here.
Right, you re-rack them.
Yeah, and you go dry.
You break again. You either go dry or you go in off, and then you get reverse dished.
I mean, look at this. It's
awesome.
He's got a lovely clearance on either reds or yellows, whichever he chooses. And so in these rules, we're waffling on. Of course, in these rules, the black just comes out, and play continues as it would, with no penalty. So if John had gone dry, then Craig would have taken control of the table.
Yep.
Because John potted a ball besides the black, then he retains control. So the black comes back up, it comes onto the spot, and play continues as it would have anyway, which just makes absolute common sense. And why they haven't brought that into every rule set is just way beyond me.
Couldn't agree more.
It's the daftest rule in the world, and it just wastes time.
Yeah. That's the best rule.
I mean, we say all of this. I quite like what they did in the town shooting last week, where they got
golden
the golden break.
Yeah, I quite like that.
So if you pot the black off the break, you win the frame. But if you pot the black and the white off the frame, you lose the frame.
Yeah, I like that, mate. It only happened. I think it only happened once. Craig Lakin did it against Sheppey, didn't he?
Yep.
I think that's a good rule.
Yeah.
But in terms of, obviously there is still a bit of luck involved. I think black.
I mean, that was incredible, because he was 4-2 down, and then he's come up and broke. He's having a bit of a nightmare. He's lost. He's 4-2 down, lost 4 frames in a row, having gone 2-0 up and a good chance to go 3-0. And he's 4-2 down, come to the table, broken off, got golden break, and now he's 4-3.
Yeah, I know.
And the pressure's firmly back on Sheppey. And it was Sheppey's break, well, he broke and cleared. But, the pressure suddenly was massively back on him.
It did make for
just
some extra excitement. It did make for some extra excitement.
Changes the complexion of the game.
But in terms of, like you said, black respotted. If that was in Black Ball and World Rules as well, I think that would be such a great addition.
Yeah,
fantastic.
He's forced into this yellow one on the bottom. He doesn't have anything else.
It's because he's put a bit of left hand side on the previous shot that he's taken to the middle. But the idea was he wanted to push himself a little bit further down than where he is now.
It's not a gimme, is it?
I think he plays this off of 2 cushions to head up towards the top right pocket. To take that one that's on the top rail, I think is the shot. So from where he's playing now, I might be totally wrong, but I'd be thinking he plays this with bottom right hand side, off the bottom cushion, off the right cushion.
Look at the side he's putting on this ball.
God, he's digging deep though.
Isn't he ever?
Let's see if I'm right. There you go.
Missed it.
That's exactly where I said. Up towards that top pocket, he'd have played the...
He's in off.
Oh, dear.
He's in off.
Oh, my God. What a result.
Goodness me.
Marshy is walking to the table, ready to snap John in half. Look at his face. He's fuming. He's fuming.
How has that stayed up?
Oh, my days. Marshy is about to explode. Look at those red cheeks.
If he misses this, it'd be
Oh, mate, he's
fuming.
livid. This is now a huge pot.
It is.
Huge pot.
Nails it.
Oh, great shot.
Nails it.
Great shot.
So, hey, what a different complexion, mind. From 6-0 down, he's got these to go 6-3, and it's a whole different ball game. I did say I couldn't see Marshy coming back from this deficit unless he started firing on all cylinders, and he also needed John to make a few mistakes, and John has given him the chance. Now, if Marshy gets his confidence up, this could easily swing back in his favour.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it could have been, it could have been 7 or 8-0.
Yeah.
And it's now,
Well, these are gone, aren't they?
this is
6-3.
looking like it's going to be 6-3. And he could be 9-0 down, couldn't he? Could be 9-0 down.
Is his break in the next?
Yeah.
Could easily, when John comes back to the table, he could be 6-4.
Anthony, I'll reply to your message, but not on the commentary, my friend.
Mark Ball now 5-3 up against Leiden de Bono. Drew Hughes has pulled one back against Phil Harrison. It's now 8-3. Scott Gillespie and Greg Batten 4 frames each. Chris Gill has won his match.
He's finished already.
Frames to 3 against Luke Gilbert.
And I'll tell you what, the
Flown through
in-house bookie, Jed Ronan, will probably be quite pleased with that.
I think he took a few bets
there
on
was
Luke,
quite
didn't he?
a few bets taken on Gilbert in the accumulators, the doubles, the trebles. There was quite a few that took him, including someone sat very next to me. Sat very close to me, shall we say. Yeah, I don't think I put him in because I didn't know who he was. I've heard the name. Yeah, that's a good shout. Good bet that, mate. So as you can see, there's the up-to-date scores on the screen. You can have a little nose for yourselves. Marshy straight down the middle and straight back down the middle. Well, that's what you call straight queuing.
He's got a big break. Big break.
There you go. Have another look at that. Straight up, straight down, almost bang centre into the black.
Came back.
Can't queue it any straighter than that, can you?
Came back and took the black off the spot. Incredible. He's going to have to go yellows here. Think he's going to have to go yellows so he doesn't have to leave himself that combination shot at the top of the table. I think ideally he'd prefer to go reds, but if he does that, then of course, don't forget, guys, you can't open your account in these rules with a plant. You can.
Well, you can if it's the same colour.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't play red onto yellow.
No.
You essentially you can, but it's loss of turn.
Loss of turn, yeah. The only way you can play red onto yellow is if you pot red onto yellow, pot the
And
yellow,
pot them both,
and
yeah.
sink the red.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just pot
Play
the yellow, loss
play
of
it as a
turn.
combo. Yeah.
Loss of turn, open table, and I think the last event that caught quite a few people out, that rule, because they didn't realise, and it happened quite a bit actually. But I think now these supreme rules have been around for quite a while. Most of the players know the majority of the rules by now.
Anthony Mason asking if I play pool and to what standard.
Oh, tell him you're a freak of a player. Freak of a player.
That would be pure lies.
He's Nick the Gardener. Finn.
I've played pool for in excess of 30 years and used to play kind of interleague. But in all honesty, my eyes are in pieces. I wear glasses full time now, and I cannot play pool in glasses. I played on Wednesday night. In fact, I played my first game of the season. I missed the first 4 or 5 because I just don't enjoy playing that much anymore because I can't see the balls. And I can't play in these darn glasses. And they were short of a team the week before last, so I went and played, and I really enjoyed it. I won 3 frames. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. But I got gifted one of those, and like I just can't see the balls. It's horrible not being able to see anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's and I just can't play with glasses. So I play as sparingly as possible now. I still love the game, and when I do play it, I thoroughly enjoy playing it. And
mate,
I've
seen you play, and when you've had a few beers, you're pretty unbelievable, to be honest. I think once you've had a couple of beers in you, mate, I think you're
I am better
very
when
decent
I am
standard.
better when I've
very
had a
decent
couple of
standard when
beers.
you've had a few beers. Yeah, once you've had a few Jaegers after it, not quite so good. But after a couple of beers, mate, and
I think everyone's got that kind of that kind of what do they call it? It's a bit of a beer boost, isn't it?
Definitely.
Some people find that flow after a couple of frames, a couple of pints, and others find it after about 4. And then you lose it after a couple more.
Yeah, there's a fine line between getting relaxed and
yeah.
sort of losing the plot a little bit. But
I tell you,
as the pool would know, mate, you are the voice of pool. You know, where would we be without you behind the microphone? We'd be in trouble, I think. We'd be up the creek without a paddle.
Dear me. Anyway, it's 6-4.
6-4.
I did say the next time John McAllister comes back to the table, it could well be 6-4, and he's under pressure to make this clearance.
Yeah, I mean, Craig's probably thinking to himself, "I'm doing well here to be 6-4 down."
He will
because
be.
it could almost be. Oh,
Oh,
it's
no,
in off.
he's in
That's in
off.
off. Oh my days.
It's going to be
And,
6-5. It's going to be 6-5.
Just
And the next time he comes back to the table, it could be 6-all.
Yeah,
and it's 6-0 down. I'd written him off.
and a lot of there was people asking on the commentary. I wonder what price he would be
Yeah.
from 6-0 down.
It needed.
I wonder. Let us know in the comments. Did any of you get a price and have a bet on Craig Marsh at 6-0 down?
It needed John McAllister to make mistakes. Craig Marsh couldn't do it on his own. It
Correct.
needed help from John, and John's given him the help. Of course, now it's ball in hand. He has one shot, ball in hand, anywhere on the table. So just absolutely. I mean, he's got nothing to do, has he?
It's got strawberries to tap in
Yeah.
to be 6-5 down. Strawberries.
Another top clearance here from Craig.
And as you just said, mate,
6-5.
the next time he comes back, it
What
could
a
end up being
turnaround
6.
this is.
Ooh.
Absolutely incredible. And so we are a little bit of admin to be done. We are viewing across YouTube and Facebook tonight. Do us a favour if you would be so kind. All we ask you to do over the weekend when you see our stream go live, to like and share it, just to get it out there, just get it out onto social media. If you're on YouTube, you can hit that right swipe arrow, copy the link into Facebook. Also on YouTube, click the subscribe button, and there's a little notification bell, so press the notification bell so you'll get notifications whenever you see us go live. And on Facebook, like and share it onto your streams. I'd be really appreciative of that. It just allows other people to watch the events over the weekend. Here we go, frame number 12, and Craig Marsh getting us underway. Oh, you heard him. You heard the grunt, and he's put his hand up in apology because he knew he'd lost that cue ball. That cue ball was tracking up towards that top left pocket. Look at this.
I'm looking. I was just receiving some outside information. So, outside information. I'll have a look at your comments in a minute to see if anyone did get a bet at Craig 6-0 down. But in-house bookie, Jed Ronan, says if he was asked for a price from someone in the venue with Marshy 6-0 down, the price would have been 8-1/10-1.
Never.
At 6-0 down in a race to 11, that's what he would have offered.
Do you know what though?
So, did anyone
But
reply? Did they get a bet?
the way the game was going, who would back him? I mean, it's unbackable.
I'd have had £1.
I mean, literally, I was expecting this to go 11-2, just because all the momentum was in favour of John. But it just shows how this game can punish you time and time again for your mistakes. And John has been punished. The max here, he's made a couple of mistakes, and it's going to cost him 6 frames.
Massive, massive twist in this game.
Huge.
Massive twist.
And do you know what? Craig's favourite now.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that.
With the momentum,
Hard to argue with that, mate.
momentum swing. I mean, Craig would have been sat in his chair about half an hour ago thinking to himself, what have I got to do?
Yeah.
This is an absolute nightmare. I'm in the losers round already. Here we go again. What a horrible weekend.
He's had a long journey as well. A long journey today.
A long journey, and then suddenly he's back buzzing again.
Suddenly he's in the game.
This has landed a little bit straight, mind.
Your chap you were chatting to earlier, mate, Anthony Mason, he said Callum Singleton is a good shout.
Oh, yeah.
Found some form again,
Yeah.
and very dangerous.
I like that, Anthony, and I'll tell you why I like that.
Yeah.
I bought 3 players in the little mini Calcutta that they do on that Dickie Con does,
Oh, right, yeah.
and I bought 3 players. It's only
Singleton one of
it's
them?
only a cheap one. I bought Callum Singleton because I think he's got a nice draw.
Mm-hmm.
Not brilliant, but it's nice. I bought Jimmy Croxton because I think
Yeah.
Jimmy's got a really good little section
Class
down
player.
there, and he is a class player,
Class
and he
player.
already knows how to get to a final.
Yep.
And I bought Jordan Shepherd. Those are my 3 buys.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout, Mr. Mason. So there you go, mate.
Yeah.
6-0 down is now 6 each. And there's no comments from anyone in the box regarding did they get a bet on Marshy with anybody at 6-0 down. Did
No one's
anyone
backing
ask
him.
for a punt?
No one's back.
Was there anything in the backers page when Marshy was 6-0 down? There's normally someone asking. You know, someone like Lewis Turner. He'll bet on anything. He's the kind of guy who would say, "What's the odds now with Marshy 6-0 down?" And I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
8-1 or 10-1 is the price that would have been offered if you were here in the venue from resident bookie Jed Ronan. And yeah, as per the comments, good clearance, very good clearance. So here we go, 6-all, race to 11.
Doggone saying who looks at the races and not at the races before they have a little punt. Well, we've already mentioned Neil Rayburn. I think the guy's on some serious form at the moment. That Premier League, he's just looked unflappable and unstoppable. And another player who's looked really good and really impressive is John McAllister. I think he's been pretty good. Someone who I don't think is on absolute rich vein of form at the moment, and I don't know why I say this, but it's only because of a couple of recent stumbles early on, and that's Liam Dunster. I haven't seen Liam at his usual best. Of course, I mean, you can't use the shootout as a guide because it's a race to 5, but of course he went out in the first round in that. And I think in the last Murphy's event, did he go out fairly early?
I think he did, mate. Yeah, I think he did. The thing is,
don't get me wrong.
It's difficult to keep up
Look,
Liam's standard.
He's the kind of player. He's the kind of player that could just easily turn it on this weekend and win
Just
the
blow
whole thing.
everybody all away.
And I'll be stood there talking to him as a winner,
unlucky.
on Friday night, and I'll be ruining all of my comments. But and someone else who is just not clicking recently, and I don't know why, is Tom Cousins. Tom is
and
not.
that's you know what, that's why I said earlier. If there's you could name 5 or 6 players that are due a win.
Scott Gillespie has not had the greatest season, but then you can only compare it to last season, and he had one of the best seasons of any pool player ever.
Unbelievable season. Yeah.
So you're judging him by a pretty harsh standard. So
It's hard to pick. There's
Jack
so many
Whelan,
good players.
I mean, when was the last time Jack Whelan?
And he's been in great
featured?
form for ages as well. Oh my God, he's had a beast there. He's had a beast. He's played that to get up past the red or flick the red and then go in the pocket. And as you can see, all he's done is nudge the red now into a potable position. Obviously, that red on the top cushion,
There's someone else
that's going to pose a bit of a problem.
someone else who has never particularly featured here and is one of my favourite players, Gareth Hibbert.
Yeah, mate, I like Hibbert. Very, very, very good player.
Has he even made a semi-final in 9
Don't
events?
think so. Don't think so.
In 9 events? I'm not sure he has.
So
one of my favourite players, an absolute quality player. But again, he's got a really tough draw this weekend. Really tough draw.
So it's a good combination shot played, but obviously he's put his other red safe in playing that shot. Mark Farnsworth, he hasn't been mentioned because he's not here at the event. Is he, Nick?
He's
Farnsworth's not here?
Well, no, he's got a King of the Hill match against Ben Davis tomorrow. So
Oh, there you go.
he's,
That is why Farnsworth is not here. He's playing tenor a man against Ben Davis tomorrow. That would be some game, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Farnsworth and Davis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Gareth Hibbert opens against.
Yeah, Nick, see what he's going to do here, mate. He might play this off the cushion.
Off
the cushion, hit the red.
Yeah.
He's going to need to...
Beautiful shot. Oh, it's just...
unlucky.
Yeah. Gareth Hibbert's got another potential banana skin to open his account today. He's got Darren McVicker.
Yeah.
And then the winner of that plays the winner of Carl Boyce and Ben Kamal.
And the thing is, with McVicker will look at a table that's never ever got a chance of being cleared and just turn on freak mode and clear the table. When he's on it, he's unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Darren's beaten in this event.
Great shot.
Darren's beaten Liam Dunster. Darren's beaten Scott Gillespie.
Tell you what, mate, sorry to interrupt you, but he has played a great shot there. Freed up those 2 yellows to the left now by playing a combination shot and potting John's red. And I'll tell you what, as long as he holds himself together here, this is looking like 6-0 down to 7-6 up. Needs a bit of a bounce. Wants a bit more.
He's okay.
Oh, he's okay.
He's
Yeah.
okay.
Just a little controlled,
He
controlled stun to the left of the table. As
He
we
would
look at
love
it.
this to have been 2 or 3 inches, so he's not playing it into a blind pocket then. He's playing it into a pocket that's in his eye line.
Correct, mate.
And it makes it so much easier.
He's missed it. Oh my
and,
God.
And that's the only reason he's
That's
missed
why.
it.
That is exactly why.
If that pocket is in his eye line, if he's 3 inches further across the left-hand side and the pocket... I'm going to teach grandmother to suck eggs here, but if there is the layman watching, it's so much easier when you've got the cue ball, the object ball, and the pocket, and you can see them all. And you're rarely going to miss a ball into that pocket at this standard. Is when you're playing into a blind pocket where you've got to look across to the pocket and then judge your angle on the ball, and you're not looking at that straight line. You've got to play it back into that blind pocket, and that's what makes those shots missable. You still expected him to get it, but that little lack of 3 inches of pace is ultimately going to cost him the frame.
Yeah. So have we gone 6 frames McAllister, 6 frames Marsh? Is that another turning point in this match? What happens next? Because this should now be. This is going to be 7-6 McAllister without a doubt. He's not missing any of these 3 reds.
And has that bounced up far? It doesn't matter. He's got it to top corner if he needs it.
Flies in
the gentleman you see in the background there by the pillar with the sporting the haircut like mine.
Yeah.
Let's just put it like that. I mean, he's a family friend of John McAllister. Now, if you ever watch John McAllister play, whether it be at Murphy's, whether it be in the Premier League, in any game around the country, it could be in Scotland, it could be in London, it could be in Stoke-on-Trent. That gentleman, if he sat up in the corner, he takes John to every game that he plays in, and he follows him around the country, and he stays with him over the weekend. It's a family friend of John's.
Fair play.
And he just,
that's some commitment, isn't it? That is some commitment.
Yeah,
to be fair.
They're great pals, and he is always in his corner. If you watch on Free Sports on the Monday night pool, if John McAllister is in action, he's sat right behind him.
He's there
every single game, and it's lovely.
Legend. Absolute legend.
To always know that you've got your wingman there, it just gives you that little boost, doesn't it?
So there we go. As I said, 7-6 McAllister. Good evening, Gary O'Connor. Evening, Dave. How you doing, guys? Kian's not in this event, unfortunately for you. Totally agree with you. Great young player. Awesome talent. But no, unfortunately, he's not in this event.
And good evening and welcome to everybody who're joining us here on Friday evening for the start of another fabulous weekend of pool, or what purports to be a fabulous weekend of pool. We're here until the final on Sunday evening, and we're going to bring you all of the best action. There's 4 tables being streamed across the weekend. This is table 16, the main arena table. Coming up after this game.
Main arena.
Coming up after this game, the small affair between Tom Cousins and Clint Hansen. What a great game that one is on paper as well.
The battle of the beach bods, that one.
Referee Scott presiding over the event, presiding over this main arena table. As I say, 4 tables being streamed, tables 3, 4, 11 and 16. And yeah, always excited to be here on the Friday. I love it. There's always a little buzz around the place. The bar is always quite busy. People are clamouring to get to the bookmaker and put their bets on.
It has all. Yep, the weekend shenanigans has already started.
Yeah, it's great fun.
Here we go. And as you can see from the first game, 35 minutes ago, you're probably thinking, this is a bit one-sided. 6-0 down. Marshy maybe not much chance in this game. All of a sudden, he reels off the next 6 on the bounce.
Yep.
Now trails 7-6. The match has been going for 1 hour, 18 minutes, 13 frames in that time.
Gonna have a little virtual tour of the arena just to see what the scores are. Mark Ball is currently 6-4 up against Leiden de Bono. Ches Graham and Alex Bailey locked together at 5 each. Ches Graham was a 1-4 favourite with the bookmakers before that game started. Craig Waddingham is already through against Chris Day, 11-3. Jack Whelan through against Adam Basu, 11-4. Steve Petty has opened his account 11-4 against Scott Crawley. He's through. Omar Manchid is the Moroccan, 7-6 up against Mason Penny. Sean Story 7-6 up against Liam White. Greg Batten now 6-4 up against Scott Gillespie.
He was a good price as well,
Greg
Batten.
He was 7-4.
7-4. And he was 4-2 down.
4-2 down. He's 1-4 on the bounce. Phil Harrison is 9-4 up against Drew Hughes. Declan Brennan 9-4 up against Dom Cooney. Chris Gills through. Shane Thompson is 9-5 against Rob Warren, needing 2 more frames. So there we go. That gets us up to date with all of the scores around the arena while we see John McAllister going about this clearance on yellows. Couple of tough balls on that left-hand side rail, but he's going to leave them until last. Shouldn't be a problem, especially given where the black is.
Yes, not an issue, mate. Not an issue. Get rid of these 2 yellows at the top.
Yep.
Down for the 2 at the bottom, and as we mentioned earlier, obviously, that yellow by the side cushion. That's for these players. It's not a difficult ball anyway. No. But obviously, with the tables being brand new cloths on them, that ball slides in, no issues. Even I got a feeling, even I'd make that maybe 1 in 5. 1 in 5, I reckon I'd make that ball.
I think you're giving yourself a bit too much credit there, mate.
What, 1 in 5?
Yeah.
If I've had 2 points, I'll get that 1 in 5. I'll tell you now.
I can't see it.
Well,
1 in 7 maybe, but
I compliment you on your jacket, and then you just abuse me.
It's all about the angle, and he's left it perfect.
Perfect.
Just a soft screw. If he wishes to, he can just use the red as a target and just screw back into the red, but I don't think he will. It's just going to be a soft screw across to the cushion. He's just looking there at where he wants to leave it.
I think if he hits the red, he's probably going to go cushion first and then hit the red.
Yeah.
If he chooses to. He doesn't need to.
I don't think he will.
The last thing he wants to do is leave himself queuing over the red.
It just depends about how firm he wants to hit it. Sometimes you want to hit them a little bit firmer just to give you that confidence. So he doesn't want to risk quitting on the shot. So that's why I think he may well just screw back off the rail and just use that red as a guide. Very little can go wrong with this shot. There you go.
Cushion red. Perfect. And now he's left himself that tiny little bit of angle just so that he can just roll this in. White comes...
drift out a few inches and it's...
Comes out a few inches.
Easy.
And then it's 8-6. So...
At this level, this is... this, for me, is as good as a ball over the bag at this level.
Oh,
these level of players.
This is a 10 out of 10.
Perfect.
Never going to miss it.
Slightly hampered, but absolutely won't matter.
Wouldn't be an issue, mate.
Straight black, and he's going to re-establish a 2-frame lead here.
Yeah, and you know, just like I said a minute ago when it was 6-all, you know, there was another twist again, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. Yep. That pendulum swung back again in
swung
John's
back
favour.
towards Johnny Mac.
And now he's got a 2-frame lead and a break. So
Yeah, big frame coming up now.
yeah, really.
Obviously, we're getting closer towards the business end. First to 11, obviously, will remain on the winner's side. Obviously, the guy who loses will jump into the losers section. But as we've seen before, even if you go into the losers section in the first round, it doesn't mean you can't come through and win the whole tournament. I remember last year when Harrison did it, he lost his first round game, which everybody was surprised at. But he then didn't lose another game all weekend and won the whole event. And talk of the devil, there he is, 10-4 up on Drew Hughes. So he's on the hill, just needs one more frame to take him through. Shane Thompson on the hill at 10-5 up. So Nick will be happy because I know he's got him on his bet slip. So that looks like a good little bet coming in there.
Frame 15. John McAllister to break, leading 8 frames to 6. Time running.
Cracking comment from Tom Cousins on the YouTube stream. I'm not looking at the YouTube stream, so I don't know what the comment was from Mr. Cousins. So I can't reply to you. Apologies for that one. Oh yeah, Nick, here's a good one for you, mate. Do you think there is less entries this year due to it being Supreme rules? Would there be more if it was Black Ball rules, or like last year, a mixture of both rules? This person, Anthony Mason, likes the Supreme rules to watch, but unsure about playing them.
My personal opinion is...
Did you get all of that?
Yeah, it's
Good lad, go for it.
100% irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. I think the simple reasons, and there's more than one reason, there's several factors why the numbers were lower this year, is that firstly, there were a number of copycat series set up.
Tons of other events.
And loads of other options. And lots of options became available for, let's say, I'm going to say the lesser players, all right, because that's what we're talking about essentially. There were a lot of players who were essentially last year cannon fodder. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. It is what it is. It's just people who are unlikely to cash through the events. And people wanted to be part of it because of the people that were involved in it, like Jason Shaw and et cetera, et cetera. Now, Jason was always going to go back to the States. Darren Appleton was always going to go back to the States because that's where he came and had a go at 8 ball and he wanted to go back. Mark Farnsworth has had other commitments. Chris Mellings had other commitments for a few of them. Mick Hill spent a lot of the early part of the year, so a lot of the big names were gone. The attraction wasn't there for the smaller names. The backers said, well, I didn't get any money back last year, so I'm not particularly that interested in backing it again this year. And, I think that was a lot more to do with it than anything to do with the rules. I think the players that play the rules that are here generally really like it. And a lot of the other players are good. The feedback I've had generally is that the rules are really good, and not forgetting a lot of these. I mean, these aren't new rules. These are the most widely played rules in the world. These are called Supreme rules, but this set or a hybrid, slight variation of these rules are played more widely around the world than anywhere else. They're played extensively in China. They're played extensively in America. They're just called slightly different rules, and you can't play jump shots in this. And there's a couple of slight variations, but the general theme of the rules are just a hybrid of other things. No, I don't think. I think the feedback has been really good on the rule set.
So in summary, then, you would say.
Shut your face. In summary,
Mate,
I would say
I've managed to find the Tom Cousins comment on YouTube, and I'll read it out to you.
I've read it.
Nick, I'm sat with Chippy. He's not happy that you said that he's got a good draw. Does Cousins bump into Chippy then, does he?
No, I said that Tom's got a horrible draw.
Oh, you said Tom had a horrible draw.
Yeah, what did I say about Chippy?
Don't know. Cousins says he sat with Chippy and he's not happy you said got a good draw.
Who did I say has got a good draw, though?
I don't know how to take that.
Oh, I tell you what.
Did you say Cousins has got a good draw?
Callum Singleton, that's what I said. Because Callum's got Chippy. I thought Callum...
Right,
I thought I said Callum's got a tough draw.
I don't know, mate. Either way, they're not happy, mate. It's someone else you've upset.
Yeah, I know.
Always upsetting people.
I'll see you later, Chippy. I'll buy you a drink, mate.
All about you. All about Nick the Gardener Finn. Does what he wants. And Chippy, Nick said if you're not happy about it, then that's fine. He'll just put you on the list.
Brilliant. Oh, no. I wouldn't even talk. I didn't even mean that, Chippy. I thought I was talking about Jimmy Croxton. You know, I'm just getting muddled up here, mate.
See, this is what happens.
This is what happens
when
Callum's got a horrible draw, by the way. He's got Chippy, and then he's got Adam Davis. So.
when if anyone's wondering what it's like when old age sets in,
hey, mate.
PM Nick Finn, I tell you.
Mate, I'm 50 in 2 weeks.
You're not 50 in 2 weeks.
I am 50 in 2 weeks.
Seriously?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Congratulations, mate.
I can't believe it.
I know. I thought you had another 10 years on that.
Shut your face. I don't even look it, do I? Come on.
You don't look it. If I didn't know you,
you'd walk past me and say, "There's a handsome 38-year-old."
That is a good-looking 42-year-old bloke. That is. or I'd look at him and say, "Is that bloke an ad for Veet hair removal?"
Oh dear.
Anyway, we've missed a bit of the action here, so
we really have.
Apologies. Yeah. Apologies for. That's the problem when you ask Nick to answer a question.
I know, and then I just go off on it.
It's one of those things you think, I wish I never asked the question in the first place. So back to the action. Obviously, that's a foul because Johnny Mac's got ball in hand. He's leading 8-6, race to 11. He's on red, so he can put the ball anywhere he wants.
Shane Thompson's on the hill against Rob Warren, 10-5.
I told you that about 10 minutes ago.
Shane fancies himself.
I told you that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm old, mate. I forgot.
So, yeah, ball in hand. 15 seconds left to play a shot. They each get one extension per frame. Gives them another 45 seconds, doesn't it, Nick? The extension, is it another 45 seconds they get?
That's exactly what it is. That was unlucky. Just tried to flick that half ball just to clear the...
Does it go?
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Does it go? If only we had someone to push a button and show us if that goes. There you go.
Wow.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon that slides in or not?
Dead weight off the knuckle. It might drop.
Yeah, I reckon that goes. With the new cloth on it, like you said, that slides in off the cushion, definitely. Off the jaw, that slides in.
Don't think he fancies it, you know.
Well, you wouldn't fancy it from there, would you? You wouldn't want to play it from where it is now, but I think you might fancy it from somewhere else.
Well, we're going to find out. He obviously does fancy it because
that's what he's playing.
He's going to play the one to middle next, surely, and then just bump into the yellow. Has to play the one to middle next, doesn't he? Because he's on it. I mean, it's going to be.
You would think he's going to play the one to the middle next. It depends if he can, if he can catch the yellow thick enough to hold the white, and not run too far. Then he plays to the middle. But if he's catching the yellow too thin, I don't think he plays the one to the middle now.
No.
And the thing is, if he goes for the corner now, if it doesn't drop, then he could be in a world of pain. Because obviously Marshy's going to be able to play yellow onto red. This is why he's changed route. Look.
Yeah, he's going top of table.
He's going top bins now.
He doesn't like the one to middle either. He just obviously doesn't have the right angle. Is that okay though?
Right, now...
See, I don't think this is any good because I think he has to play that pocket weight. I think he has to play it pocket weight. He can't play this with any kind of pace because the pocket won't take it.
I mean, the pocket will take a fair bit, but if he's going to
Yeah,
struggle...
but he's got to put some action on that to get onto his next ball.
Yeah, I mean, the cloth is very reactive, so it's only going to be
That's true.
a screw and a follow through with a screw, if you know what I mean. Depends if it... Oh my God, it flew in.
It just
goes to show that...
make us look stupid.
Well, it just goes to show that we said we thought it went, but it more than went. It flew in, didn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't even in doubt.
Even from that angle over the pocket, though, it looked like he just had the knuckle, and
He's not ideal, though, is he?
I think he's all right, mate.
I don't know.
No,
It'd be nice if we had an angle of that corner pocket.
No, he's fine. He's fine.
There you go. There you go. Don't ask Paul to press more than one button at once, mind. Thanks, Paul.
He's grumpy today.
Thanks, eyeball Paul.
He's grumpy today.
He is grumpy today,
Yeah.
yeah I know. He's grumpy. Right.
He's so grumpy. He's slid across and said, "I'm not bloody grumpy. Leave me alone."
I'm not grumpy, how dare you? Say that to me again and you will not get another camera angle. Leave me alone.
That's nice.
And there you go. Good shot. So that's going to be 9-6, and I'm going to reverse back to what I said at 6-all, mate. 6 frames, then the twist.
Yeah.
It's turned back in Johnny Mac's favour. And once again, he's obviously a favourite. 9-6 ahead, race to 11.
Indeed.
As your referee, Scott. I would say athlete of a man, but I don't want to lie to you.
Shane Thompson's the winner.
Scott is an athlete if he's in Pizza Hut buffet. He's the best athlete in there. Oh, mate, what a complimentary comment for you, Nick. Nick's voice is ultimate husky hunk. There you go, mate. You are the ultimate husky hunk. That's correct.
What was her name?
Kyle Brown.
Oh. God.
Can't argue with him, mate. Your voice is very husky, soft and tender. It puts the pool community in a state of relaxation, it does. Wow. Smash. So, it made a red. Massive break, that. Massive. Good evening, Mr. Ian Lancaster. Hope you're well, mate. So yeah, good shot by Marshy. Made the plant on his own yellow. And these should be a formality really to take him to 2 frames behind. Take your pick here. Take your pick. These are gone.
It really is still anyone's match.
Yeah, nice cannon. Nice cannon on the red. So barring something careless, he's going to reduce his arrears to 2 frames. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah, nice shot. Nicely controlled. So roll that in. roll the black into the middle. I don't think he'll be smashing this as hard as the one that he smashed earlier when it missed. Just roll this in nice and gently. There you go. 9-7. Ah, there you go. Look, that'll sort him out. Wad's delivering a beer for Marshy. That's what he needs. A nice pint of ale to settle him down. So you can see a fair few in the background there. Obviously watching the games through the glass in the main room where there's about, I don't know, 15 tables in there, I think. Pretty much all of them in use. If you want to see the up-to-date scores yourself, then get yourself onto QScore. Search for the players' pool events, and obviously you can have a look on there. If you haven't done so already, then please like and share the stream. If you're watching on Facebook, then obviously like and share. If you're watching on YouTube, then copy the link, get sharing it. If you haven't done so already, then click on the subscribe button. There's normally a little bell which pops up then as well. If you click on the little bell, it will then notify you every time that Beard Productions goes live. So for all the games over the weekend, if you click the subscribe and you click on the little bell, then you'll get a nice little notification every time that Beard Productions goes live. And obviously you can keep yourself up to speed with all of the pool that's on offer. There's 4 games being streamed in pretty much most of the rounds. And that is the main arena, which is this one, table 16. It's also table 11, table 3 and table 4. So you've got 4 games to choose from. If you can't stand my voice, then pick one of the others, because there's no commentary. And on that note, I think we've just lost 250 viewers. My apologies. But we will get them back. Nick Finn, please return to the room. I need the viewers back that I've just lost. Where's Nick Finn when you need him? The gardener.
So this again should be a fairly simple clearance for,
there he is.
for John. This is going to put him on the hill. It's red to centre, to top corner. Probably going to send it to centre with a little soft screw to hold on the other red at this end of the table before taking out the 3 at the top. Just a little more angle than he's absolutely comfortable with. The cue ball's going to be running away. He's not going to want to go up table and take the 2 balls at the top of the table and then come back down again. It's more legwork with the cue ball.
Right, quick apology. So whoever Mr. GYO is, I will apologise. We are looking at the comments on the game, but obviously we're looking at the comments on the Facebook feed, not necessarily on the YouTube feed. They'll only be looked at every now and then. So apologies if we've missed a question that you've had. I'll have a little nose through for you. There you go, mate. Where is this match being played? So this is being played at the Players Pool Lounge, Newcastle-under-Lyme, Stoke-on-Trent. This is the Supreme Series event number 4. Title sponsor is Central Vehicle Leasing, not lending, as Nick said earlier, but his eyes are starting to disappear, bless him. So there you go, mate. Hopefully that's answered your question for you. It is race to 11, if you haven't caught that already.
Oh, well, he's okay.
He's got away with that, hasn't he, Nick?
He's not.
He's got away with one there, hasn't he?
I'm not having it that he's played to there.
I'm not having it either.
Not a chance.
Not having it.
Not a chance he's played to that gap. But I think he's underhit that by a foot. And he's quite fortunate, actually, because if he'd run through another 3 inches, he didn't have any shot whatsoever. But as it stands, he's pretty much perfect, and this is going to put him on the hill. Ooh, hampered. He's not happy about that at all. That's horrible. And that really is nasty. You just cannot do anything with the cue ball, and he needs to get some side on this. This is only just off straight. That is nasty. Careless, really. I think he's played to come down and just nudge into the yellow, and it's about as bad as it gets. He's just taking his medicine. Yeah, he's just going to take his medicine and drop it in and leave himself a much tougher black. Wow.
Scenes, Nick. Scenes. Epic scenes. Oh, excuse me. No problem, GYO. Yeah, it's on his Facebook and YouTube. So we'll try and keep an eye on both. Apologies that we missed you, pal.
This is a tough shot.
Oh, he's nailed it.
Wow.
Nailed it.
You see in the background a tap on the knee from Craig recognised, and he would have just piqued his interest. Just
does make some big shots, though, doesn't he, Johnny Mac?
Yeah, thinking, oh, I might be coming back to the table.
How many times, like during the weeks, do you see a shot that's posted on Facebook?
Oh yeah.
From the IPA or somewhere?
Yeah.
And it's Johnny Mac who's played it?
Yeah.
How many times?
Yeah, he plays some
loads.
ridiculous shots.
Loads. There's your update on the scores at the moment.
Greg Batten now 6 each with Scott Gillespie. That's a bit of a ding-dong battle. 12 frames is all they've played there in 2 hours.
That is a slow burning match, that one. That is a slow burner.
That's the slowest one of the lot. Neither one of those players are renowned for being slow players. They're both very attacking. So they're just obviously getting bogged down a little bit by each other. Very, very big frames.
Ah, there you go. That's a few new subscribers to the YouTube channel. Thanks very much, guys. Like I said, when you subscribed, hit that little bell as well, and you'll get a little notification every time that Beard Productions goes live, so you won't miss any of the action. Perfect. So, Johnny Mac just needing the one more frame to progress on the winner's side. If that were to happen, then obviously Craig Marsh would jump into the loser's side. Obviously Marshy needs this frame and the next 3 on the spin if he's going to come out winner in this match. Quick maths, I suppose. Quick maths. So yeah, he's got to fancy these. No real problems on the table here. All he's got to do is just screw this one up. Screw this one up a bit. Perfect. All he's going to do is screw this one back to the top right, leave himself just where he's pointed his cue on the table, and then he's literally probably going to roll the red to the left middle dead weight, leave himself a little angle just to get himself back across the table, and then obviously the black will go to the top left. Oh, he was worried for a split second. It had a little wobble. And this is just dead weight. Roll it in. There you go. Dolly red to the top left. White will just drift back across the table. Black in the same pocket. And then he's going to need the next 3 on the bounce.
Yes,
and there's
indeed.
another one catches the rail but still drops as expected.
He had he won 6. He won 6 on the bounce. So
yeah, 6-0 down. Took the next 6 on the bounce. Then we saw a little twist. Johnny Mac then took the next 3 on the bounce. And now it's Marshy's turn again. And there is your title sponsor on the screen, Central Vehicle Leasing. Thanks to them for their support for this weekend. There you go, Nick. Kevin George, nice to see you, pal. He thinks this is going all the way, mate. He thinks this is going to be an 11-10. He reckons we are going to see a decider in the first main arena stream match of the weekend. Kevin George. So, all he wants is a ball. Has he made one? Yes, he has. He's made a yellow. So, the only ball doesn't look like it goes from where it is at the moment is the black. Assuming he's going to go for the yellows. Might decide to go for the reds, and then the black's in a pottable position. Whichever colour he chooses, he's got a finish. Definitely got a finish on. Players of this standard, you know, looking at this table now, thinking, here's my opportunity for game, set, and match. It's just got a little decision to make. Does he go yellows, meaning that he's going to have to find something for the black? Or does he go reds, knowing that the black's going to be in a pottable position once he's cleared the reds out of the way?
So here we go. The
Yellows was his choice.
could be the final frame.
And as I said, the only ball which I don't think has a pocket from where... Oh, actually, no, the black might go to the top left. I'm not sure if it goes through the gap of those two reds. If it goes through the gap of those two reds and he doesn't need to move it, then he's laughing. It's quid's in, it's game over. Marshy is sat there looking a bit resigned. He thinks this is the end. He'll know from where he is. He's sat right in line with that black. He'll know if that goes in that corner. My initial thoughts was that it didn't, but I reckon maybe it does, because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
for
quite
sure.
hard to tell from
For
looking
sure.
here. I wasn't quite so sure, but the look on Marshy's face tells me that goes no problem.
Yep. Yep.
Good win for Shane Thompson. 11-5. Yeah, 11-5 victory for Shane Thompson.
There's Marsh. He's well, he's going to lose anyway, but not quite in the fashion that we kind of expected him to lose. We thought this was going to be a bit of a one-way.
We did, mate. Yeah,
One-way
at
street, so-
6-0 down, we pretty much, we were thinking game over. Next thing you know, it's 6-all, and then that crucial little error at 6-all when he had the momentum and he was favourite, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's then made an error at 6-all. He's then gone 9-6 down. So, just this black for an 11-8 victory. A bit harder than what it looked earlier on. There you go, straight through the gap. So there you go, 11-8, John McAllister. And next matchup on this main arena table will be Tom Cousins versus Clint Ianson. See you all soon.
Yeah,
There you
really,
go, Nick.
really good win there for John McAllister. We're going to try and get him into the interview room for a couple of words in a second. And until then, we'll be back with the action after that with Tom Cousins against Clint Ianson. So stick with us to have a chat with John in just a couple of minutes.
So I'm joined by John McAllister off the back of that win. John, very much a game of two halves there.
Yeah, well, probably a free halves really. So yeah, really good start. Yeah, a bit in between middle really, and then yeah, happy to finish off in the end.
I mean, 6-0, and it just looked like, I mean, for me, I'd said there's no way back at that point for Craig. The way he was playing, he was making too many mistakes. Yeah. He's probably not at the top of his game at the moment, and you look fairly flawless in that first half. What happens then when those mistakes creep in?
Yeah, you've just got to, well, normally you try and just share the frames from then on, so try and get 11-5, 11-6 sort of thing, because you know it's not going to happen like that. You know you're not going to beat a player like Craig 11-1, 11-2 sort of thing. So yeah, but obviously after the first miss he got a little bit of confidence, and then yeah, his break started working really well, so he kept doing what he had to do, and then yeah, I just started missing a couple really.
How do you deal with that mentally when he's coming back at you? I mean, you're 6-0 up, and then suddenly 6 each, and he's got a chance to go 7-6 up as well, hasn't he? I mean, how do you get through that?
Yeah, I think I've had a good chance at 6-all as well, and then I think I've dry broke, I believe, or I've went in off when I've kicked off the yellow, and it was one of them where I thought I actually deserve this, because I've actually had a few easy chances there to kill the game off, and I haven't took them. So it was more relief when he's missed his second last yellow to go 7-6 up, and then yeah, it swung in my favour again in the end. So just a bit of relief. And
John, I mean, you're always knocking on the door. I mean, you're always there and thereabouts in events, but the last few months has seen some really good form for you.
Yeah, you just got to keep plugging along. So there's a lot of tournaments to play in. So as long as you just keep competing, obviously, yeah, hopefully it just comes at the right time, really.
Is this the one? This weekend?
Hopefully, yeah. So obviously I got a little bit of luck in that match at the start and probably at the end as well. So as long as I keep breaking like I probably did in that match there, yeah, hitting the ball really well, then yeah, you don't know at the end of the day. So one time you think it is going to be your event, and then you either don't turn up or your break doesn't happen, and that's the end of it. So you just got to take one match at a time, really.
John, absolute pleasure. Best of luck for the rest of the event.
Cheers, mate.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back with the action very shortly. It's going to be Clint Aronson against Tom Cousins. We'll see you soon.